Nothing like starting the day off with a big mug of cafe latte. Yeah, I like milk in my coffee. Anyways, nothing goes better with coffee than coffee cake. Now, this was a special request from one of my Patreon patrons, Gordon Flynn. He said he hadn't made coffee cake for a long time and he should get back to it again. So I said, hey, why don't we do one here on Kuma's Kitchen? And what patrons want, patrons get. So here we go. This is blueberry coffee cake with Streusel. Oh, there's a little piece of blueberry just fell out of there. Now, the nice thing is, you can make this with blueberries. You can make this with any kind of berry you wanted to, actually. Cranberries were great in here. I would add maybe a little bit more sweetness if I had cranberries, because they're quite tart. But another good thing in here is pieces of chocolate. If you're a chocolate lover, make the same coffee cake, but with chocolate instead of blueberries. I do like it with the blueberries, nice and juicy. Let's have some right now. Oh yeah. Now, I'm glad that Gordon asked for the coffee cake because I hadn't made coffee cake for a long time. I used to make it for breakfast a lot when I was living in Canada. And yeah, that's bringing back some memories. All right. Let's go in the kitchen and make this because it's really easy to make. And that's the ideal thing is in the morning, you can quickly whip this together. While it's baking, you can be getting dressed, brewing up some nice coffee, and then you're ready to have some of this delicious blueberry coffee cake with Streusel topping. So let's go make it. Right, first what we're going to do is make the coffee cake and then we'll make the Streusel. So these are the ingredients for the coffee cake. There's 2 cups of flour. There's half a cup of brown sugar, any sugar actually, but I usually like to use my unrefined cane sugar. 3/4 of a cup of yogurt. 1 cup of blueberries. Now you can either get fresh blueberries or, like in my case, I can't get them, so frozen blueberries, thawed out, rinsed off, and then measured out to 1 cup. Here I've got a half a cup, and boy is that full, a half a cup of melted butter, 1 egg, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of cinnamon. So the only thing that's 1 teaspoon is the baking powder. All right, so what I'm going to do first of all, just mix the dry ingredients. So I'm going to throw the flour into a little bit of a bigger bowl. And let's get the sugar in there. All these here, the soda, the powder, the cinnamon, and the salt. All right, now I'm just going to use a whisk to just kind of get that all mixed around there a little bit. We'll just do everything really easy because this is a quick and easy thing to make. In fact, if you don't have enough time, you can always skip the Streusel, but hey, it is better with the Streusel. Okay, so we got the dry ingredients mixed together. Now, I'm just going to whisk together some of the wet ingredients. The blueberries I'll leave to the very last. So let's get the egg in here. Put it into a bigger bowl. And just going to whisk up that egg. Then I'm going to add the yogurt. Get that all in there. All right, so that's the yogurt in there. And then, just quickly whisk that and the egg together. Let's throw in that butter very gently because this is overflowing. Okay, we get the butter in there. I get the vanilla in there. Alrighty. Just quickly whisk that all together. Just enough until it's nicely combined like that. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now I'm going to get my wooden spoon over here. And I'm just going to mix the dry into the wet. And it's all going to go into the cake pan. Okay, so just kind of mix this, just gently mix it. Just want to get it combined together. All right. Now once I've done that, I'm going to put in the blueberries. I just want to gently mix the blueberries in here. Otherwise, we're going to get with all purple cake. Just kind of mix that around to get that spread throughout. Now, you can do this, like I say, with any other fruit, or you can do it with chocolate chips or something like that. And a lot of times you won't get as much of a smearing of purple throughout when you use those. But I do like it with blueberry. It's really delicious. So, what I've got here is I've prepared a pan. This is a 9x9 baking pan, and I've just lined it with baking paper. There's a little bit of butter on there to hold the baking paper in place, but mainly it's just baking paper there. And I'm going to spoon this into that. At this point, we'll grab our plastic spatula, and then we can get all that goodness out of the bowl and into here. In the meantime, the oven is over there heating up. It's heating up at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And this cake is going to go in for about 35 minutes once we get the streusel on here. So, whoa, don't do that. Careful not to move your paper around too much. So I just kind of want to spread this out into the corners. And one thing that I do is, as I'm spreading this around, if I see a place where there's not many blueberries, just shift a couple of them over, put them somewhere where they belong. And there we go. It's pretty well smoothed out. I want it pretty smooth because I want a good base for the streusel to sit on top of. All right, that's looking pretty good. So now, let's get what we need. Be back in a minute, and we're going to make the streusel. All right, see you back here in a minute. All right, we're back and we're ready to make the streusel. Got the food processor here. I have here is a third of a cup of sugar, and I'm using my favorite cane sugar. A quarter cup of flour, a quarter cup of butter. Now that butter has been cut up into small pieces and then re-chilled, thrown it back in the fridge. I want it good and cold and solid. So let's put all the ingredients here. We're going to toss the sugar in here. We're going to toss the flour in here. And then we're going to toss the butter in here. Now you could just, you could cut this butter up the night before, so it's all ready when you go to make your breakfast. If you're having coffee cake for breakfast, which has always been my favorite time to have coffee cake. All right, so let's put that together. And all I'm going to do now, pulse it up a bit. That should be about it. Should have a couple little granules of butter kicking around throughout there. That's looking good. You see that? There's some little pieces in there of butter and all. Just like that. That's good. So now, just sprinkle this across the top. Be generous. We got lots of it here. I like a good, generous helping of streusel on here. And that's it. That is ready to go in the oven. And that oven should be up to heat now. So that's going to go in the oven 35 minutes. And then we'll bring it out and give it a look at. All right, see you in 35 minutes. So, breakfast time. This has been in the oven now for 35 minutes. So what I want to do now is just have a look. It all looks good, but let's just give it a little toothpick test. Run that toothpick in, or skewer in this case. That's coming out dry. All right, crumbs are looking good on there. That is ready to go. I'm just going to let that cool down a little bit. So this is the time, if you're having this for breakfast, you would just go brew yourself some coffee now. And by the time the coffee's ready, this will be ready to cut up and eat. And all you do is just basically get one of these, slice on through. Yeah, you don't actually have to have one of these butter knife, whatever will do. But I do like using this little baby here. This is my little icing spreader, and it's great for all kinds of things. So let's just do one on camera right now. We're gonna cut right down through the middle there. Smelling good. All right, let that cool down a bit. And then we're going to have some delicious blueberry coffee cake with a streusel topping. All right, see ya, enjoy. Now if you go to the link appearing on the screen and also clickable in this video's description, you can download and print out this recipe from the Dessert Recipes booklet on Kuma's Kitchen's Patreon page. Just click the featured tag called Recipes. Now go print out the recipe and enjoy blueberry coffee cake with streusel. And make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.